Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman. This is a response to Thunderfeet's video, Why Go to Church in Less Than 3 Minutes? So I'm responding to this overly simplified junk science video for dummies because he thinks that it only explains maybe religion, but I have here a book, and we read books, and I don't have a doctorate like Thunderfeet, and I don't know all about science, but when I read a book, I can learn about things, and here I think it involves a lot more than Thunderfeet lets on. So not only religion, but social, cultural, and political and judicial views come from the Great Father, or Alpha Male, as Thunderfeet puts it. But, he doesn't say anything about the Alpha Female, because before patriarchal, it was matriarchal. So here in this book, The Origin and History of Consciousness, Eric Newman, a student of Carl Jung. Matter of fact, this book right here was has a foreword by Jung himself, and it has a lot to do with psychology also, which Thunderfoot blows over in a lot of his junk science videos. See, why are you being in junk science? He only had 3 minutes, he could do it. Well, Thunderfoot's pretty educated, and I think a lot of times he knows better, but he does what he can get away with, Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? So here it is, why I think it's patriarchal, and my view of why people go to church in less than 3 minutes. I think I could read this. There's some big words in here, and when you read books, there are some big words that you might have to look up. In pre-patriarchal conditions, the men and elders stand for heaven of sorts. They transmit the collective cultural heritage of their day and generation. The fathers are representatives of law and order, from the earliest taboos to the most modern judicial systems. They hand down the highest values of civilization, whereas the mothers control the highest, i.e. deepest values of life and nature. The world of the fathers is thus the world of collective values. It is historical and related to the fluctuating level of consciousness and cultural development within the group. The prevailing system of cultural values, i.e. the canon of values, which gives us a culture and its particular physiognomy, Physiognomy, and its stability has its roots in the fathers, the grown men who represent and reinforce the religious, ethical, political, and social structure of the collective. These fathers are the guardians of masculinity and the supervisors of all education. That is to say, their existence is not merely symbolic. As pillars of the institutions that they embody, the cultural canon, they preside over the upbringing of each individual and certify his coming of age. It makes no difference how this cultural canon is constituted, whether it's laws and taboos of those of a tribe of headhunters or of Christian nations. Always the fathers see to it that the current values are impressed upon the young, and that only those who have identified themselves with those values are included among the adults. The advocacy of the canon of values is inherited from the fathers and enforced by education, manifests itself in the psychic structure of the individual as conscious. The paternal authority whose necessity for culture and the development of consciousness is beyond dispute, differs from the maternal authority in that it is essentially relative, being conditioned by its day and generation, and not having the absolute character of the maternal authority. So all these things are influenced by culture, especially in the male-dominated patriarchal. Nature is the great mother, both creator and destroyer. You also have a great father, the alpha male, creator and destroyer. So, because the greater alpha male may have been rejected by the great female, mainly trying to control the instincts, forms societies and groups and culture outside of that which instinct does not provide. So, take care, friends. Remember, everybody's thinking alike, and somebody isn't thinking.